wishing and wishing and wishing and wishing and wishing on me.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Unrooted Softball Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than sophomore outfielder on the softball team here at Menlo College, Keeley Hernandez. Keeley, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Now, last week I heard some very exciting news, and I can't believe I didn't know this about you before, but you are a Dallas Cowboys fan. Woohoo, Cowboys, baby. How did you fall in love with America's team?
Well, actually, none of my family is a Cowboys fan. My dad is a Rams fan, and by proxy, my siblings and my mom in my family are Raiders fans. But I had some cousins that were really big on it, and I want to say about like 2011-ish, they were really hyping me up when I was younger, and I had a little moment of rebellion. I was like, I'm a Cowboy fan. I kind of stuck with it.
There's always one in every family. I know that my family my parents and myself were Cowboys fans. My younger brother, though, he decided to branch out when Reggie Bush got drafted by the Saints, so he became a Saints fan. And he has always stuck that way. His baseball team is different from ours. His football team is different. So I'm really happy that you branched out and decided to fall in love with them, even though that they might be the most annoying franchise to actually root for on a regular basis.
I love it. I really do.
You love all the chaos?
There's a couple issues that have been happening that's a little, but I really like how they really promote like America's team, and like I love that. I think it's great.
Even though they probably aren't America's team, truth be told, anymore, but we're going to hold on to that claim because we're stubborn Cowboys fans. I've also noticed at various points this season and from last week's show that you tend to be the victim of the "what are you doing here" game. I don't even know if that's the name for it, but you have left your water bottle behind a few times this year. How did this game begin?
I would say it began with Brooke Menacini, and it's water bottles, IDs, you name it. I don't remember who left it to begin with. It was probably me or Regina, and she just decided, she said, let's play a game, and ever since then it kind of just took off from there. So every time that one of us on the team leaves anything lying around, you can expect to see it on Snap in a couple minutes, floating all around campus. So
I can confirm this. I have seen it many times. Have you been victimized more than once?
Yes.
Why do you keep falling for it? Why do you keep leaving stuff around?
It's not on purpose, and I think that's why it's so funny for our team, because we have a lot of people that are like this, that are very forgetful, and we leave stuff at the field, we leave stuff. We're at dinner together all the time, so it's not like we're not the ones that aren't going to find it, and it's just how it happens with us.
Now, apparently Victoria Cervantes is like the one person who has not left anything behind. Do you think she will?
She's not super forgetful, I would say. She is pretty good about like remembering her things, unlike some of us. But I mean, it could happen at any point. And with the way that it's going, I feel like this is something that's going to be a tradition with our team from now on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm going to guess that within the next 2.5 years, 2 years.
I was going to say, she's got some time left still.
I think that it might happen.
Yeah, it certainly isn't going to go away anytime soon. This year, you've also started working for Menlo Athletics on a regular basis. Woohoo. What got you involved with our department, and what keeps you here?
Cassie told me that they were hiring in the beginning of the year, and last year I did not work at all. I was just like, I'm going to see how college is and see if I can even get through this. And
fair enough.
I did, and I just thought the way things are around here, like how expensive things are, I was like, I know that they're going to be really flexible with my hours, and I love working for athletics. I think it's great to be like a part of athletics and be a part of like other school sports that, I mean, I might not necessarily like go to the games all the time, but like now, like I'm up in the booth, or like not the booth, but in the like ticket area for basketball and for volleyball, and it's nice. I like it. I really enjoy it.
Well, we love having you here. Thank you for what you've done, and thanks Cassie for recruiting her. Hey, any other softball players or any other Menlo students out there, come work for us. You get to deal with the mustache all the time. It's great. I don't want to scare you away. I'm sorry. Let's talk a little bit about the team now. Last week was very short for Menlo College, but you had a big doubleheader against William Jessup last Tuesday. What was it like, if there was any difference at all, facing a conference team on a Tuesday?
It really messed with our week. Academically, it really messed with us because we're used to playing on the weekends and being like, okay, after this, like, we get through these games on the weekend and we get a day to like rest and sleep. And after our games Tuesday, we're like, we have school the next day. It really messes with like my classes, and like it's a little different to adjust to. But I mean, I know some teams in our conference, that's all they play is week games, and I'm really appreciative that we do not have to do that. But
yeah, you guys might have the long Friday, Saturday, Sunday at times, but for the most part, early on in the year, once you get into this time of year where conference games are the ones that matter, mostly just Friday, Saturday, certainly that's a good thing. Shelby Grafman is one of the best pitchers in the entire nation. She was in the circle for both games for William Jessup, and yet Menlo somehow found a way to come back in the last game, down 4 in the last inning, tie the game up, and then win it in extras. What was the mindset for you ladies entering that inning?
I was actually just talking to one of my teammates about this, trying to figure out like, what? And she said, one thing I really remember us saying is it was international. So obviously we start with a runner at 2, no outs, and it was so simple. We're like, we get a bunt down, like we do what we couldn't do. We get a bunt down and we get a base hit. Like that's so just like, it's like textbook for us. So that was what we were thinking. We're like, guys, like this is easy. Like let's just like get this over with and we'll be done. Obviously it was hard dealing with Grafman and stuff, but that was our mindset going into it was let's do what they couldn't do. It's very simple. Let's keep it simple and execute. Take
me inside the dugout for the 7th inning. When you're down by 4 runs, how are you able to rally together like that against, a really good team, but a really good pitcher?
Especially losing to them the first game, it was really like, it was just kind of hard to take, and we really did not expect that at all. We really had obviously we weren't taking them lightly at all, but we expected to play better than we had that first game. And I think that about the 6th or 7th inning, we kind of like flipped a switch and we're like, we're not going to let them sweep us at home. It was almost the same way with the Vanguard game. Like we can't let anyone sweep us at home, and just trying to do what we can to maintain our rankings in GSAC.
Yeah. Now, Menlo's received a lot of help on both sides of the ball this year, but Regina Juarez has really stepped in and provided a huge boost for you ladies at first base. What can you say about her performance this year, stepping in for Bryce Etzler, who's been dealing with some issues?
Oh, God. She has stepped up really big, and it has done a lot, especially her hitting. Like, her first base, yes, like, she is very just, or dependable is the word I'm looking for. Dependable. And at the bat, like, it's gotten to the point where, like, every time she goes up, like, it's just, we know she's getting on. Yeah. So it's kind of like, we're thinking ahead, like, okay, like, who's after her? Like, what are they going to do to, like, help move her? Like, we don't have any, like, worries, like, when she goes up to bat about whether or not she's going to get the job done that she needs to, because we know she's going to.
And if there were any doubts before getting the game-tying base hit with 2 outs against Shelby Grafman, that certainly settles all the doubts right there. She has really come into her own.
No, that game, she just stepped up huge. I think she almost had a base hit every at bat. Almost.
Yeah, I think she was 3 for 3 in game 1.
Yeah. So we were like, wow, like she's seeing her really well, and we obviously, like, a lot of us like really weren't that first game, so we were just like wow, like, okay, well, if anyone's gonna do it, she's gonna go up there and do it.
Yeah,
so
and how are you doing this and help us get base hits? Right. Please share your secret, Regina.
Right.
Now, Menlo plays at home this weekend against Hope International. They're ranked number 15 in the nation, and they just swept Vanguard, ranked number 5. Mm-hmm. You two are tied atop the GSAC standings. How pumped are you ladies for this weekend?
Honestly, the anticipation has been, like, killing us because we had to get our first games against them canceled. They were rained out in LA, and it's just, like, we were really worried that these games were going to get rained out too, and, like, we'd have to play them, like, back to back to back to back, and we're really excited. I think that we're really ready to, like, take on, like, this challenge, and they are definitely a different team from last year, and I think that that's something we're excited about too, to face, like, different competition and not be seeing the same thing, like with William Jessup. It's Grafman and Vanguard, pretty much the same thing, same players, but they're different, and I think that we're just really excited to see how that's going to go.
And you had a walk-off home run against Hope last year, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yes.
So you're looking forward to this series a little bit. Now, as far as the weekend is concerned, rain has shifted around some of the games. Fortunately, everything is still on. So senior day, as opposed to being the last home game, is now the first home game on the weekend, Arizona Christian on Saturday. Final home weekend, now we'll call it, for the 7 seniors. What have they meant to this team throughout their entire tenure here at Menlo College, and for you specifically the last 2 years?
Wow. This question is so hard just because, so much. It's kind of hard to put into words. I really don't know if I'm ready for the emotions that are going to be going on this weekend. They're perfect, they're very good leaders to follow, and they were such good examples for us to come into. They really us as sophomores especially, and to the freshmen too, but us as sophomores when we came in last year, they just took us under their wing right away. They were so welcoming, and they are really a big reason why Ohana is so strong in our team, because they really treat all of us like family, and they really set that family standard for our team. And this weekend's gonna be hard, and the end of this semester is gonna be even harder, but honestly I'm really excited to go through the rest of these games with them and what's left in conference, and go as far as we can with it.
I was going to say, try to extend the season just a little bit further, then you don't have to get rid of them.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
The Oaks have a lot of talent on their team, and they're up there in the conference standings. All right, Keeley, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answers. Question number 1, which teammate hates the Cowboys the most?
I would say that the football teams on our team, on my softball team, we're all very competitive with one another. Every time that one of us plays one another, it's always just a little bit of smack talking. But I would say Shiggy, definitely. She's also the biggest football fan on our team, so I feel and she's insanely competitive. So,
and she's a Giants fan.
Yeah.
Which means that she has one major character flaw, that is that she's a Giants fan. So I remember her telling me that last year, and I instantly was like, Brooke, we can't be friends anymore because you're a Giants fan and I'm a Cowboys fan, and it doesn't work that way. And we see them twice a year, so
yeah,
that certainly doesn't help at all. Question number 2, which teammate is most prone, aside from you, from leaving personal items behind?
Well, besides me, probably Gina. It's definitely me and Gina. Anywhere we go, it's always okay, make sure we have everything. And our team is constantly reminding us, did you grab this? Did you grab this? And yeah, it's definitely me and Gina.
And sometimes you're probably thinking when the team brings that up, did I actually bring it behind? Are they trying to trick me? What's going on here? I can imagine.
It's really a big accomplishment when I don't forget something. It really
Yes.
is. It really is a big deal when they're do you have it? I'm yes, I do.
Hey, question number 3, which teammate is the biggest fan of the cowbell?
The cowbell. I would say probably Gina again, just because I'm just thinking loud noises, just trying to get wild up with something. I would say in a game, definitely her, just because she's all about getting people up and getting people hyped, and that's any noisemaker really.
Yeah, she probably is the person who would turn the bucket of softballs into a noisemaker, right? She'd just be banging on that all game.
Actually, that's Malia.
Malia does that.
Malia, yeah, we have this cheer actually, so maybe her too, as long as I went with the cheer, but yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought Malia for that one, but maybe this
Malia
is...
and Taylor are very big cheer instigators on our team. I love it. They have brought so much positive vibes to the dugout.
And Taylor seems a little quiet, so I guess I'd be surprised, but I don't know her too well yet. But with Malia, I'm going on a limb here and trying to draw a connection. I heard that she has a pet bunny.
Yes.
So she has, I don't want to say an odd pet, because bunnies aren't odd pets,
Yeah.
but it's not like a cat or a dog. So
Did she tell you
maybe
she potty trained it?
What?
She potty trained her bunny. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Do people do that?
I
don't.
guess. Yeah, I don't really remember how she did it. I asked her one time because I thought it was awesome, but yeah, she potty trained it. I thought it was cool.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, that takes the cake. She would be the animal whisperer. I asked that question a few weeks ago. Malia Johnson officially is the animal whisperer on the 2018 Menlo softball team. Keeley, thanks for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, folks. The softball team at home for the final time during the 2018 season this weekend. The schedule has been changed around, so notice the changes. Saturday will still serve as senior day for the Oaks, but it will be the opener of the weekend. They will play Arizona Christian at 1 o'clock out at Wonderlic Field. Senior day festivities to begin just before. And then on Sunday, the Oaks will wrap up the weekend against 15th ranked Hope International for a doubleheader that will start at 11:30 7:30 a.m. If you can't make it out, all 4 games will be streamed live on the Menlo College Sports Network. We invite you to tune into next week's show. Keeley Hernandez will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on Unrooted Softball Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
They wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me.